Hi, everyone, and welcome to Chair Yoga and Meditation. Glad you're here. Let's begin our practice as we typically do with a little transitional time. But before we, get into this in earnest, I want to make sure you have the proper props. I am going to use a cloth for some use of the shoulder movement. So I do want you to access that if you've got to go run and get it. A block for sure. So, that's kind of a steady thing. So, just to be sure you've got. The other thing I want to mention is that we're going to do a few standing poses, the more traditional poses in yoga. So footing, I want to make sure you're not on a slippery floor or you've got yoga socks on. So just be aware, we're going to be standing on our feet, putting body weight into the legs. And so if you need to make some little adjustment to the flooring so you don't feel like you could slip, please make that adjustment for yourself. I've got both a yoga mat and carpet under me, so I got that covered entirely. So yeah, so make sure you feel comfortable with that. All right. So let's come forward on the chair, get the block between your legs so you start to feel how that provides some alignment. And maybe the better word or best word right now is it provides awareness. We start the transition into yoga is really all about awareness. We become aware of our breath, which we hadn't been probably for a few days, perhaps, where we just bring ourselves back into this yoga's wisdom that says, a healing environment for you is when you're aware of the fact that you're breathing. You're that in touch with your body. You are that embodied, if you will. So let's get strong with the belly wall. Hold yourself in a very upright, strong, good posture. And notice how your body moves while you breathe. Would you just turn your hands down on your lap for now so you can feel the connection of your palms to your legs as a way of grounding. You want to feel your legs all the way down from where you are touching all the way down to the soles of your feet. So you feel that sense that just that little additional pressure gives you a better awareness of a grounding. And I don't know about you, but for me, even when I have my hands on my lap, I feel more grounded in the pelvis. That lends itself that way too, that I feel more connected to the chair. So it's a stabilizer. We're going to start with a Durga breath. So that's that 3-part breath. So just so you know, take a moment now, if you haven't closed your eyes, to close your eyes and set your intention for class today. I know, that I often use the palms up for that mudra of receptivity. So turn your hands open if that seems to work well for you. I'm going to tell. Same problem with not connecting to Zoom. All right, so we set our intention why we're here today, what we seem to most desire from this yoga practice. And so it is. And then as we open the eyes again, we'll begin that Durga breath. So that's that 3-part breath. It starts very low in the belly wall. I put my hand here so that you can follow that along. It's not necessary that you do the same thing, that you do that stepping with your hands. If you like it and it seems to serve you well, obviously that works fine. But know that it's not necessarily a part of this practice, this particular yoga breath practice. So inhale starts really deep in the belly. You take it, it's like a third, a third, and a third. You're taking a third of your inhale, a third more, and that final third is up here near the clavicle. Hold it just briefly. And I'm going to suggest you do the same thing. Exhale a third, the next third, and the next third. So I do that with a I blow it out like that. Exhale a third, it's not like exact, but you know what I'm saying. Some of the breath, more of the breath, complete the exhale. So let's begin that. I think you've got it. Inhale some more. Inhale, briefly hold. Keep going. Eyes closed is what I recommend so you can really focus. This breath, I'm going to talk my way through as you continue with your breath work, is intended to really expand. That inhale gives you 3 opportunities for expansion. So that's kind of the idea. And then we gently, timely move it out. I practice it and encourage others to try the 3-part exhale as well. It's not always taught that way, in case you run into that and you're wondering. Stay with it now. A couple more of these breaths. Finish that breath all the way. Exhale it completely. Let's open the eyes. If you haven't done that yet, we're back to open eyes. And again, good posture. Feel your feet to the floor. Feel yourself really connected to that chair seat. So you feel lots of support in that. And let's begin the upper body movement. Inhale up. Exhale comes all the way down and back. So movement through those shoulders. Keep your arms as straight as you're able. Start to notice how, you started off and maybe you can't fully straighten your arms for some reason. They just need some warm up. So I want you to kind of pay attention to that as we go along, that you'll start to see improvement. You start to see a little bit of shift as you warm up. So you can, be encouraged by that. It's just like, oh, that feels good to know that it's kind of working, if you will. Just a nice vinyasa movement through the shoulders. Shoulders are right above your hips, so don't come forward. Make sure your spine is aligned and it's very vertical. Okay, next time arms are up in the air, let's bring palms together and look up a little bit. Inhale, big inhale. Exhale, bow at your own heart. Inhale up. And exhale, take a big sweeping action to come all the way down with your arms alongside the frame of the chair. Pull your arms back. We're going to move into the very traditional warm-ups here, our cow and cat. So arch your back body, draw your shoulder blades together, keep your arms really close to the chair frame. Push your feet to the floor so it feels like you're lifting your chest cavity up through that. And we're just going to stay for a few breaths, both in and out, to kind of pattern the body. When it's time to exhale, grab hold of your kneecaps, just a gentle hold. Keep your arms straight. Pull through the belly button area so you feel the roundness of the back body. That's that C-shaped curve of the angry cat. Breathing both in and out. Now, I really want you to squeeze that block and use your Mula Bandha. Use that Bandha pathway of breathing that we've been doing. This is going to tone your perineum. It's really a good one for this particular sequence, because when you come into cat pose, you are just in a perfect position to find that action of the perineum squeezing in and up. All right, let's get started with that full vinyasa, big arch of the back as we inhale, exhale. Use your Bandha breathing. Take your time with it. There's no rush with this. Take your time with it. We've got a lot of work to do on that exhale. So give yourself all the time you need. Pull in and up. The squeeze of the block really helps you identify the musculature we're trying to, use. It's really belly button area too. It's not just those inner thighs. I just want you to use it all. And the floor of the pelvis is pulling up as a result. Keep going. Excellent. Let's come back to neutral. Bring palms together up and overhead. Exhale, bow. We're going to take a twist now. Inhale up. Exhale, twist towards your right. Keep that spine vertical. Hold on to body parts. Hold on to the chair. If you choose, if you're kind of trying to train yourself to really utilize core strength for all the movements and even the stability, maybe you're wrapping your arms around your body instead of using the chair. So you can do that very easily and really find that you've got to really rely on your own core strength. Deepen the breath, feel the verticality of the spine, so try not to lean. And you might detect that you're leaning to one butt cheek over the other. So balance that, balance right to left in your pelvis. Unwind your head and then your shoulders, and then we'll come up and try the other side. Big inhale, exhale, we bow, we come up, we're twisting to the other side now. Again, holding the chair, holding your body parts, or you decide not, maybe not this day. I'm going to see if I can wrap my arms around my body and use my core strength. Remember, when you're pressing the back of your hand to the back of your body, it's pulling that shoulder back. Otherwise, we kind of have a tendency to have it slump forward. By doing that, wrapping around and then pressing back into the back body, it helps you pull that shoulder back. A couple more breaths. Remember to exhale completely. That's good yoga. We're going to unwind the head and the shoulders and the arms. Let's do some shoulder rolls. I would say, include some movement of the head. While you're doing your shoulder rolls, your head might just naturally, mine certainly does, it just naturally wants to move. Stay with the same direction of your shoulder roll. Don't change it yet. Just repetition here. Keep your arms real close to you. If you have your hands on your lap, it's a little easier because your arms aren't quite so heavy. Just something you could adjust if you needed to. Now let's change that direction. So you're spreading your shoulder blades apart instead of growing, toward each other. Now we're spreading them apart with this different movement here. And keep up some repetition with that too. That's a good warm up. Now we can use our cloth. We use it in that diagonal position, so we've got a little more length to it. And we'll start with that left hand up and get your elbow up as close to your head. Now, no ducking. So if you find yourself tucking your head down, start with your head. Maybe you get your head upright, and that's got to stay put. And then you'll move your arm in there as best you can. Okay, then slip now. We're going to do this point by point. I want you to sweep your hand behind you where the back of your hand now is against your back, and you can find the cloth easily enough, and just take a pause there. You've got a hold of it with each hand. You're going to open up your chest, sit up real tall, press your feet to the floor even. Couple breaths here, just feeling it in your body. That's all there is to it. The mind-body connection that we're working on is to be very specific about how we go to the next side. So take your hand, that top hand releases it. So now the cloth is in your other hand. We'll take it up. Remember, get your head upright. Then you put your elbow as close to your head as you can. Take your other arm, wrap it back there so you can find it. Find the cloth behind you. Lift up, look up maybe. Find a fullness of breath. Don't go shallow. You want a deep breath. And then I'm just going to let you have it, but I want you to be very specific about how you're trading off what's the setup, what hand has a hold of that cloth, just so you can keep that mind-body connection sharp. So if you've really mastered this, you get it. You know what I'm saying. You're perfectly okay with that. And you're kind of rocking and rolling here. You're moving through these two poses, quickly. I have no problem with that. That's great. Go for it. But if you're a lot of us need to be a little more specific, take our time. Just a breath or two before you switch. Notice how it feels. Pay attention to how it's felt in your bodies, particularly your shoulder blades. I'm going to do one more on each arm for myself, one more on, with the particular arm that's up. Let it go and then come to the next side. Now, this is where I'm going to end it. I'm going to get a hold of it and hold it and sit up tall, press my feet to the floor. Excellent. And then just release it. I'm going to say just tuck that under your chair for now. Arms in a T shape, palms are down. I want you to just shift from center. Try to stay with that your pelvis doesn't move and that the movement is from the waistline up primarily. Just moving yourself off center. And then introduce a turn of the head. So as you pull to your right, you look to the right. As you pull to the left, you look that way. So you're feeling your way into your body now with this movement. How's it feel in your neck? How are you doing with that core strength to support that off-centered position you've created? That's where I think the block is really super helpful to stabilize. One more pull in each direction, and we'll come back to neutral and we create that goddess position. We've got our elbows bent. Let's open and close here. Pull back on the inhale. Exhale, close it up where elbows and forearms come together. Inhale, open it up. Exhale, close it up. Try to keep your arms elevated to armpit height. Use a little more strength that way. Strengthening the arm muscles. And this one too, if you are in the mood to breathe fast and move like, you're still connecting your breath to the movement, but you sped up your breath. You decided, I want to just kind of get going here. Both are good. Your choice. Let's use a little tricep now. So we've met in the position of the goddess. We're going to drop the palms down, hands down, fingers down. So now we're in that scarecrow, quite a different image. And then flip them open and down. Notice how that's felt in your neck. When you're doing this with your arms, can you just feel what's going on in your neck? Maybe it's quite subtle for you. Maybe if you're like me, it's like, oh yeah, I can get that. Now we've got the bent elbows. Let's work with those. I want you to bring your arm in front and the arm in back. They're the same shape. And I want you to make note of which arm's in front and say that to yourself. So you say left, you say right when you switch. So you get, I know simple, but it just helps you to pattern. I'm pushing the hand behind me now. It's real close to the body, just like my front arm is. I'm really hugging into myself. Say the word. So then you can turn your head accordingly. You're going to turn in the direction of that front arm. So it should be matching up with the word you're saying to yourself. See what you can do to find a nice flow with this. It's not, doesn't feel robotic. It feels like a flow. Relax your face. Keep breathing. Last one. Come back to neutral. We've got our scarecrow arms, and then go slowly down, slowly down, so that you can feel that letting go. Good. Let's start just swinging out. Make your fist to pull it back. Goes out, down. Next time he has a fist. So it moves like that. I'll just give you the side view in case you're curious. It swings down. We got the fist. Pull in. So you can really feel the strengthening that when we put those fists into it and we pull back, we're contracting those bicep muscles on purpose. Just get going now. Excellent. Let's come down now and just take a little pause. We're going to do some wrist work. I would encourage you to keep your block there if it works for you. You know why I'm taking my block? Because I am hot. So I'm going to just remove it. So if you got that same issue, you know what I'm going to do is put it between my ankles. That still gives me a little help and it's not so sweaty. So I want you to come into this wrist movement. So here's what we're going to do. This is something new I just learned over the weekend. To do a figure 8 with your hands. So see if you can just try to figure out how could I move my hands and wrists, and it creates what seems like a figure 8. Sit up tall, don't slouch to do it. You're trying to get a lot of movement through your wrists. This is new to me, so I'm not well practiced at it either. I'm just noticing now that if, I finally found a little flow. Now I want you to change the direction of that figure 8. So now you're going at it from a different angle. And remember, it's more than the arms, which I can see already. I'm using my arms considerably. Eventually, once we get practice at this, maybe we'll really feel this movement in the wrists and the wrists alone. Figure 8, mind-body connection is the name of the game here. These are fine motor skills, and we want to sharpen that. Let's do some more of that fine motor skill. Is simply touching your thumb to each of the fingers. So you just roll through that a few times. And then open, close, do some piano playing. That's it. Just move around in your hands and notice it. Really feel like, okay, yeah, I'm moving that finger. I can touch. I got it. Mind, body connected to this movement. Now extend out like you're trying to push against each wall. Palms are pushing out. So you spread your fingers apart. Your hands feel really stretched open and very active. Pull your belly in, squeeze your block, and push out like you're trying to go so far that you're touching the walls on either side. Stay with it. It's very active in your hands. And that'll translate into your wrists as well. Push. Just keep pushing. It's not just the shape you've created. I got it. I'm holding my arms like this. You're always pushing. That's it. You're always pushing. It starts to get hard, doesn't it? It's like, so just take a couple more with it. Stay with it. Keep breathing. Push. And then flip your hands so palms are up. Then there's a relief, right? You can feel that difference. Inhale up. Exhale, bow. Inhale up. Exhale, take that big backstroke. Let's go back into our cow and cat. Easy to access. Pull the belly in. Use your perineum. Arching that back, you're trying to expand. So you want to feel every bit of expansion you can manage. Last one, go through it all the way. And then the block can be placed underneath the chair. Let's start some high knees. Maybe hold on to the chair. Again, if you're working on core strength, maybe you're going to say, well, I'll see if I can stabilize with my own strength. But remember, it's no shame. There's no reason not to stabilize by holding on the chair if that works better for you. High knees. You're trying to really flex your feet so the toes kind of spread apart as you bring them up, as you bring your foot up. Now we got the rhythm of that, pretty simple. Let's bring our fingertips to our shoulders. And now when we bring the knee up, we're going to tap it with the opposite elbow. So you should feel, in just me moving, you don't need to, a little crunching action. So there's this folding of the body, and that's going to strengthen that belly wall. Come all the way up though. Find your good posture and then round to bring it to that crunching action of the abdominals. Try 2 on each leg. You stay there and do a couple of those pumps. Again, this is a speed you're going to find for yourself as long as your breath is holding up. Last time we're going to finish it up. So we've done the same on each side, feels like to us. Come back, let's do some circles with those elbows. Let your head move if your head needs to move. Same circle though, don't change the direction just yet. See, can you feel it in your shoulder blades at all? And then change the direction of that. I think that action that we did when we traded the cloth off, and kind of did that several times, many repetitions, I'll bet that's helped your mobility in those shoulders. Open those robin wings and then close them up. And when you close them up, round the back body. When we round the back body, we're going to remember, you know what, this is a great time to use that Bandha breath. So pull in and up, open up, then pull in and up on that exhale, squeeze your belly. We're going to move into a bigger bird now. Those wings, I'm going to cross over. When you close it up, think of it as a hug, round the back body. Try to trade which arm is on top when you do your hugging. You can close it and bring palms together in front of you if that fits better for you. There's the roundness of the back though. So you're curling when you close, open and expand when you're in that mode. A couple more now. Finish it up so it feels like you're even on each. You've just felt like the crossing of the arms is evened out. All right, now reset the body. Any movement at all that your body seems to be craving, this is a good time to do that. Excellent. Let's get a nice wide stance with the legs. Let's circle that out. So you've got your heels in, your toes are out. You're using the spine, let's say, to circle around. It's not your head. The weight of your head is not circling you around. So use the trunk of your body. Let your head come along for the ride. Squeeze your elbows in towards your waistline. Let's change the direction of that circular movement. We're going to do a forward fold here. So when you come back to center, I want you to fold yourself down, 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 so that your shoulders are in between your legs. Your eyes are open. You're looking down and underneath your chair. Big belly breaths now. Try to move your belly intentionally as you breathe, and you surrender the weight of your head. You surrender your arms like a rag doll. One more breath like that. Then make your way up. Get one hand at a time to your thighs. Squeeze your elbows in towards your waistline. Lift your chest up so your spine now is in a diagonal line. It's not upright, it's not vertical. You're kind of in a squat. I want you to push your body weight into your feet and legs. If your feet are too far away, you won't feel the effect of this as good as you could. So make sure your feet are pretty close to the chair as you come into this supported squat. Chest comes up. You can look right out. You're not looking down. You're going to let your face come up so you feel a real arch of your back body. That's it. Strong legs, strong feet, strong ankles, all of that feels strong. Let's reach out. So the arms are no longer supporting you at all. They're no longer a bracket of support. They've become wings. We just spread them out like wings. When you come up from that, find those eagle wings again and round through the back body as you close them up. Open those eagle wings, round through the back body. Last one. And we'll come back to neutral. Let's get our legs a little closer together. Just grab hold, get a heavy leg in your arms and your hands, I should say. I want to make sure we've moved through the joints really well. So let's start circling the feet, get your ankle worked out, move some toes. Try to keep yourself upright. Very tempting to lean back toward the backrest. Try to keep yourself upright here. The more weight you can distribute into your arms, the better, because that's just strengthening your arm muscles. And then we're going into the knee joint, so you don't have to move your foot anymore, but you're going to just swing that lower leg around in a circle so your knee gets the benefit of that movement. Kind of a nice range of movement to include with your knee. And when we get to the hip, we're going to get a hold of our foot and some part of our leg so we can just start doing some circles, some movements. I'm moving all around in my chair. I'm not trying to keep myself in any old position particularly. I just want to get as much movement in my leg and my hip, my buttocks as I can. External rotation means you're pulling it away from center off to the side. Internal is you're kind of crossing through that other leg. So just to include that, maybe that you're intentional about including an external and an internal rotation. We're going to get a straight leg, straight out, straight leg. Hold on to it any way you want. Flex your foot, spread your toes apart. Pull yourself toward that extended leg so that you're not leaning back, but you're bringing yourself toward that extended leg. It's as straight as you can do. It's as high up as you can do. Nice, hearty, strong breath to keep you there. Spread those toes. It's a lot of activity in the leg muscles when you do that. Awesome. Hug that knee into the chest. Bring that foot to the floor. Get yourself resituated. Make sure you're caught up on your breath. Maybe you need a drink of water like I do. And we'll move to side two. So get a hold of your leg. Strong arms are doing that for you. Start with your ankle. Remember, don't lean back. Keep yourself very upright. We're moving into the knee. Keep us moving along here, and then we'll change the direction of that. So we got to get into the hip. So I want you to hold on to, I kind of grab around the heel, kind of into the ankle, that area. And then I just kind of figure out what works best from side to side to move that leg around. It's a bent knee that's moving around. You go wide, you cross over, you go high, you go low. It's circular, it's linear, it's all that stuff. Stay connected to your breath, just like right now. Oh yeah, take a bigger breath, notice it. You go back to your work. Come back to center. We're going to straighten that leg out. Straight, straight. Hold it any way you want to. Some of you can just hold on to your sole of your foot. I want it as straight as you can. You're pulling yourself forward toward that extended leg. So you're trying to avoid that backward movement, bringing yourself instead intentionally toward that extended leg. Full breath in and out. Spread the toes. Do that. Now deepen your breath. Great. Hug the knee into the chest, both feet to the floor, kind of bounce that out a little bit. Let's do some shoulder rolls. Real quick, just to see how we're doing, let's bring those scarecrow arms. And we're going to right away know how to turn our head. And say the words if that you found that to be useful. Which arm is in front? Just say it to yourself so you know exactly what you're doing with your turn of your head. You're hugging. You're going to touch your front body and your back body with a little compression there. So it's kind of a hug. Last time, each side. And we'll let that go nice and easy, nice and easy. Hands are going to be at the waist now. See if you can just pull yourself to standing. Do at least 3 of those. Shifting your body into your legs and into your feet. We want to have that block available now to squeeze between the shins. Lift up your toes so you can spread them apart and then lay them back down. And then feel the whole surface of your feet, every part of it. You can feel each toe, the heel, inside of the heel, outside of the heel. Be fussy about your awareness that you haven't missed anything. Get very strong with that belly wall. Pull it in. Remember how I've talked about rooting? We root through our feet. That feels natural, but I want you to root through your tailbone too. Draw, create a root by kind of tucking your tail a little bit. It's just straight down, really. And you're trying to root down there, that you just imagine that creates some stability with your pelvis because you're rooted. Palms face forward, arms are very close to the body. Let's close the eyes now. It's a real good check-in point. We're about halfway into our practice. Let's start breathing through that whole body. Stay strong. A little bend of the knee, yes, But otherwise, you feel like you're just really strong. You're just holding your abdominal wall in a way that feels strong and supportive. Your legs are very strong and supportive, including your ankles and feet. I bet our shoulders now are just really staying in the back body because we've moved them so much. Shoulders are right at home in the back body. Full body breathing now. Don't shortchange it. It's a long breath in, it's a long breath out. Exhale completely. So open the eyes, palms will come together overhead. Look up. Exhale, bow. Inhale up. Stay with that movement that we did when we were seated, where we just swing in our arms, make a fist and pull them back. Get real strong with your arms now. I'll turn to the side. You don't need to do anything different. And maybe again, you think, I'm going to speed this up. It kind of feels kind of fun. I got the rhythm. If you want to add a little movement, like bending your knees a little because it just feels natural in your body. Just a few more. Excellent. All right, we probably will need this again, so keep it sort of handy. I'm going to bring my chair off to the side of me. It doesn't need to be here. And I'm going to have to ask you to just govern yourself accordingly about how you can use the chair for support. It's just a little balanced fun we're going to have. It's lifting your foot up so that your ankle is, exposed here, the inner ankle. So it's like this. We do 2 taps on that ankle. We do 2 taps on the other ankle. And then we're going to switch to the back, touching our heel back there, touching our heel twice. So I'll turn around so you can see that. So it's just a touch. Actually, it's not the heel, it's more the sole of the foot. Anything you can touch back there. So that's the pattern. It's going to be in front, and then go back, and do it again. So let's go. I'll bet you need to find a drishti, like where can you look that gives you the most stability? I think that was my problem. I'm trying to look at the screen, and now that I'm looking at the floor, I'm having no trouble with it. Good movement of the leg and into your hip. And it's got certainly a balance component. Finish it up so you've done the back taps, and then you're ready to change to a new position now. Great. Shake that out. Again, how you position your chair for support will be up to you. You might choose to have the chair right in front of you so that it's right there for support. Remember, that's good, that's fine if that's what, I'm not going to do that for a couple reasons. I want you to be able to see what I'm doing better, but I've also found that for me in my practice, I like it better for the support that's offered over here. Right in front of you works great. Take a wide angle. Your feet are, in a parallel position. Heels line up, so you're not staggered at all. All right, that wide angle is comfortable and suitable for you. Don't try to overdo, don't try to extend your feet too far apart. But again, if you have them too close together, you're not really challenging yourself. So we feel a little bit of a stretch. Rotate your foot out so it's pointing over here towards your left. So you've just lifted up the toes, turned your toes now to point in the other direction. Now your kneecap is pointing in the direction of your toes. Okay, so that's going to be our warrior position. I want you to start with this though. Extend that right arm out so it keeps you, it's like somebody's pulling you over there. When you bend into that knee, this arm is reaching in the opposite direction. Belly, pull in the belly. And now let's have both arms. Inhale, palms together overhead. Both legs are straight. Exhale into that very bent knee position you just did. Inhale up. Exhale, bend into the knee, arms at a T shape. Let's hold that T shape. And I'm moving a little bit just so I can make sure you're seeing me. The feet, let's take a look. Let's get the arms down. Let's make sure that that front heel, the heel on the side with the bent knee, matches up with the back heel or maybe the arch of that back foot. So there's a relationship there. They're not staggered. They're definitely in relationship. That's important. When we come into this extension now, this time flip your hands up. Right hand's going to reach to your thigh. Left hand's reaching to the sky. Remember the root of your tailbone? I want you to find that root. Excellent. Let's come back now to the full extension of both arms, but we're going to straight leg. We're coming into triangle. I like to go at it like this. I get one arm to lay my head down on it like that. And I shift my hips. Get a little sassy. Shift your hips. Lay your arm down, and then that's going to help you come into this, because what our goal is in the triangle is to be in like a side bend. You're bending to the side as low as maybe the height of your hips. Here's where blocks for a lot of people comes in handy, where you can put your hand to the block on its high side. Ear is facing your hand on the block. Remember, let's bring that arm behind us, press it into the back body, which will pull your shoulder back for you. Stay with it step by step. There's no rush. And see where you could get stronger. What kind of stabilization could you think of here? This is a great pose. This is no second-rate trikonasana. Some people will really want to extend that other arm up. Soften the bent knee now. That leg was straight. We want to soften back to a bent knee. I like to carry myself up from that other arm. And then bring yourself back to standing. So you're going to just take your time to get your feet back together. Shake it out. You know, we're just reminding you, you could be doing all of this from behind the chair, or you're just kind of working it out as you go. We start with that wide angle. Feet are parallel. Get strong with your belly. Pull in and up. Rotate the other foot now. We're going to side two. So your toes should point that way. That carries your kneecap, and that's important. Your kneecap is now going in that direction. Bend into that. This arm pulls you up, just kind of keeps you from, this is what happens. I see it so much that we get into this, and I want you to bring yourself into an upright position with your spine. And then extend both arms. Inhale up, both arms and legs are straight. Exhale, that bent knee and arms are in the T. Find that vinyasa. It's so good when you can give yourself a full breath in and out. You've got the advantage. I'm still talking. It changes how much I can breathe. So I really encourage you to take advantage of the fact that you can breathe deeply here. Let's meet in that full expression. This is warrior two at its best. Flip your hands to face up. Adjust your shoulders. Remember how we had a line? We wanted to make sure our feet were in alignment. You might take a glance at that. Left hand touches the thigh. Right hand reaches for the sky. I like to look up with that. But you find your drishti. What's your neck and head feel comfortable with? Deepen the breath. Tuck your tail so you can feel the rooting of your tailbone. Excellent. Let's come back to that position, wide open, straight legs. We're moving into trikonasana, triangle. We're going to swivel our hips off to the side. Drop your head so it's trying to touch your arm. And then that will carry you down. Maybe you use the block. I seldom use a block. I'm just trying to show it. Get your top arm wrapped around you so it pulls your shoulders back. So it feels like your spine now is laying out. Yeah. top arm up if you choose. You never, that doesn't have to be applied. Feel your body weight in both legs, both feet. Tuck your tail a little bit. Many times people have their butt way back behind them. Try to be mindful of that you're trying to tuck your tail so your body's in a single plane. That's good yoga. Let's bend into that knee we had met before. We're coming back upright. Excellent. And now we'll just bring ourselves back to a neutral position. Step, step, step. All right, I don't think I'm going to need the block. Let's find a downward facing dog before we start settling into our meditation time. Hands are going to be right here at the chair seat. You know how to do it. We want our distance between our feet to match the distance we have between our hands that are on the chair. Find the imprint of your feet. Try to straighten out your legs. Just work on it. Remember, you're trusting and encouraging that every bit of your support is coming from your hips, buttocks, and legs. Your hands extended there. That's not what's holding you up. What's holding you up is the strength of your legs. So sure, you can extend and it feels great, it feels supportive, but that's not what's holding you up. You shouldn't be moving your chair while you're coming into this pose. Tuck your chin into your throat. That's a good one. That uses that bandha. It's called the Jaladhara bandha. That's a stabilizer. Finish 2 more breaths. Start walking toward the chair when you finished your breaths. Bend your knees a little bit. Keep your head down. And then bring yourself up 1 vertebrae at a time. Now I want you to start moving into your toes a little bit. So I'm just alternating one heel up and then the other one. And when I pull a heel up, the other foot's kind of pressing down. So you're starting to move into your feet. And then I want you to try a toe balance. That's where you've got both heels up. You're supported by the balls of your feet all the way from big toe to pinky toe, the whole width of your foot on the balls of your feet and into your toes. See if you can balance with that you're supported entirely with the toes and the balls of the feet. Your hands have freed up. Don't hold your breath. Come out as soon as you need to. Get your heels back down and then shake that out. I want you to just sort of really feel your whole body shaking up and down. Glue your feet to the floor. But everything else is kind of pulling up, pulling down, pulling up, just shake it. Last thing, a little tuck and tilt. So we come into a little squat, hands are on the thighs. I turn to the side, it doesn't mean you need to change at all. So I want you to tuck and tilt your pelvis. That's pretty much all you're moving. The pelvis is moving, some of the other parts of the body kind of go with that. But what you're addressing and encouraging is the tuck and tilt of just the pelvis. It's so good for your low back to have that strength. Pull in now. You got the tuck. Stay with the tuck. That's where we could use the bandha breath. Yeah, squeeze it and then we'll come back up. Nice and easy. Any movement now as you make your way to your position for Shavasana, any movement your body just naturally kind of wants to do, you'll always just insert that for your own benefit. Get a drink. I encourage that. Make sure you feel hydrated. And then find the full support that you can get. Definitely want to scoot yourself back into your chair. If you can get a second chair so that you can elevate your legs, great. Step by step now, you start to let go. This is kind of a fun time to check in with the body as we close our eyes and start to soften everything and relax everything, but just to take a little assessment about what you accomplished, what it feels like in your body right now, how clear, just reminding us of the kinds of things we've been taught. And that's, some points about benefits and blessings of this practice. Vibrant and healthy body. Can we check that box? Alert and focused mind. We've made a good stab at that, but we're going to get better by the end of our class. Loving and compassionate heart. Lightness of being. Bringing mind and body together. Improving posture. And creating vitality, or a greater sense of the flow of the energy of your body. Now let that chair or whatever that you're using to support you be a refuge for you. You're trusting it. You can relax into it. Start to deepen your breath. Start to notice the deepening of your breath. Let the inhale feel like it's centered at the center of your head. So behind your eyes, you're noticing you have brought yourself into full awareness of that space, and you fill it up with your inhale. And the exhale comes out your nose to the still point. That's the space in front of you, right where your nostrils are. It's like you're going to empty that breath into that still point in front of your face. Inhale fills up that space behind your eyes. Exhale it out of the nostrils to that little still point, the space in front of your face. I have found it very beneficial, for sure, very deep in my awareness when I make reference to space as well as, my body parts. I've added that to my meditation. Noticing the space in me and the space around me. So stay with that breath if it works for you to stay inhaling like you're right in the very center of your head behind your eyes, and the exhale goes out your nose to that still point in front of your face. Relax your muscles of your face, soften your jaw. Hands can be soft, belly is soft. And smooth it out. Just keep smoothing that breath out. It just feels effortless. It's not difficult. And if breathing out of your nose is problematic, just change that so you feel comfortable with your breath as it is. Let's use some mantras we found useful in our practice together. Let's use deep and slow. Inhale, deep. Exhale to the space in front of your face, slow. Say the words to yourself. Deep within your body, slow as that exhale comes out to the still point. There's a word in Sanskrit, a word in the practice of yoga called sankalpa. It is often used to identify intention. What's our intention? it's a little different for me. I like to teach it a little differently, that the intention we set for our class really doesn't fit within the description of sankalpa. Sankalpa is more of a time of your life, what seems to rise to the top of your heart's desire, like always, certain time right now, always. I'm looking for what that might be. I'll share my particular story so you'll maybe can relate. For a long time, my sankalpa was peace of mind. That was my highest value, peace of mind. Recently, my sankalpa has changed to just a single word, and that's trust. Here's a little reading. What loneliness is more lonely than distrust? That question comes from George Eliot. Becoming fully trustworthy individuals, living up to our own ideals, makes easier the decision to trust others. And when there is trust, intimacy is possible. With intimacy comes self-love, then other love, and finally joy. Isolation from others is a choice, one that breeds new levels of insecurity. Familiarity with isolation hinders our movement toward others, a movement that offers the risk of self-disclosure. And it's this risk that nurtures the friendships that comfort us. Self-acceptance and self-disclosure are intertwined. Our rough edges are softened and easier to love after we've owned them, held them up for inspection, and patted them before tucking them away. Today offers new hope to the hopeful. Being rid of the burden of distrust will lighten my day. Let's take a deep breath in through the nose. Exhale it out with the sound of a sigh. Ah. Take a few more of those breaths as you start your transition now out of our practice for today. Just sighing out that breath, adjusting now so your feet are back on the floor. You're no longer reliant on the backrest. You're coming back to a place of right alignment or sitting in a nice posture. All right, let's sync up our breath. Inhale with me, palms will be together overhead. Look up. Exhale, bow at your heart. Inhale up, take a pause here. Breathe both in and out, just kind of reaching for the sky. And when it's time to exhale, we're going to share this trust, this joy, this peace, this beautiful energy that yoga gives us all the way down. We share that with our communities. Palms come together at the heart. We bow to ourselves. We bow to one another. Namaste, my friends. Thanks so much for joining me. Have a great week.
Thanks.